It looks like Drew Sidor is not over the drama that was maybe resolved at the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 reunion. It sounds like she's still yet holding on. Okay. So let's get into it, right? We've got K.Michelle, who she says owes her an apology. We've got Kelli, who she says owes her an apology. Shamea, who she is now calling Shamesi. Well, I guess still calling Shamesi, despite Shamea's apologies, attempts at a hug. There is still more from Drew. And Drew also says that she did some digging. Her people did some digging and found out that Shamea's house is not even a part of the HOA. And so she questions the validity of the HOA bill that Shamea displayed that was in the amount of $2,000. So yes, perhaps she feels as though Shamea owes her another apology as well for the 890th time. Okay? Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. So Drew was on the Big Tigger Morning Show and was asked some questions. Let's just go through a couple of things, shall we? I think we shall. Shall we proceed? Yes, indeed.
I know that it felt like she has apologized to you, but also kind of had the whole, like, I could have gone harder because she asked you, if you had dealings with Dennis. I think that was last season, right? Yeah. And so what is it? What is the issue? Did you get your apology? Did you not get your apology? What's the root of this issue with you two, and can you resolve it?
Can it be resolved? Well, Drew says that she doesn't know what the issue is. Well, she says it wasn't her. We all know what the issue is. She basically kind of alludes that Shamea's issue is really with Portia. I think that's what she is trying to direct this back to in this interview. She says it was clearly something else. And she feels like Shamea was fighting a battle that wasn't hers. Is that why you guys are still windmilling over this battle from season 16? Okay. Well, let's go. Season 18. I guess we'll be battling over the same things. She says that apology on YouTube wasn't genuine. I do have to say this, though. Well, I'm going to leave it. She says she's ready to move on. There's really no issue with Shamea. Oh, no, Shamesi. Now, see, this is the part of the problem. If there is no issue, then you aren't going to let it go. There's a comment here that says so many hypocritical statements made. Quote, I accept her apology, but then proceed to call her Shamesi. Then there is no real issue here, but after the reunion, I went digging. There is no real issue, but it's a forced hug. Okay. What really is the issue? The commenter asked. If you truly want to put this to rest, then the response should probably be she apologized and we will see how she comes into the next season. The person says, get a different storyline. This one is exhausting for all the parties involved. I would agree with that. Okay. I would definitely agree with that. This HOA bill was a $2,000 bill. Y'all all got it. She ain't make you pay for it. She told you she just wanted an apology. Let the mouse go. Are we not done yet? No, we're not.
She's come on my page, like some photos I recently saw.
Okay.
I sent her a
She's come on her page, like some photos. You recently saw that.
text, sending condolences to, her family on some personal things that were going on that I won't speak of, but I did send a text. Just, we're human beings at the end of the day. So I feel like there's no issue. I'm ready to just start anew.
I'm ready to start anew.
And hopefully she'll show up differently, more authentically. I want to see the Shamea that we all have seen. She's very fun, very bright.
Yeah.
And so I really want her to show up.
I want to know why you didn't exactly give her that hug when she came over to hug you at the end of the reunion.
I give her a hug.
You patted her on the back.
Oh.
This Francesca lady, boy, she...
Well, then,
You and Angela.
you know what? It was probably, going from arguing to a hug, it probably just felt unnatural. I didn't remember that, but thank you. But yeah, I feel like we got to work to a hug.
Yeah.
I will agree with that statement, though. I do feel like I do feel like if she had answered this in this way, outside of everything else, I think that this was probably the most authentic response. Um, the hugs for somebody who you have just maybe made up with, and you don't really have a lot of history with. I think the hug could be a little bit too much in that moment. It's kind of like, well, we'll just try to move forward as best we can, right? So I can see where Drew would say that felt forced, because I definitely wouldn't have done that, right? I totally get that one.
Hug is probably a little premature because we know that she will apologize and then give a butt. And then
Here we are. The moment that somebody apologizes to you, if you are still hanging on to whatever has happened previously, because at the end of the day, she's given you apologies and you've never given her any. You have not seen Drew really apologize to Shamea for anything that she has said or done.
and then come for you about something else. And I felt like the whole horse situation, which I apologized for, but I felt
After she told you she wanted the apology.
like it was a moment for her. Like, girl, why not call me and tell me this is what's going on with the horse? Like, the horse he pooped in my life. By the way,
Yeah.
I did some digging, okay? And there's no HOA. Her house is not listed under the HOA. So I just feel like, now what are we talking about? You want to say I owe a bill, an HOA bill, but you're not part of HOA. So let's talk about it. And I just looked that up. Yeah, I have people that can do some digging, and we did the digging. to
Oh.
find-
We're back to the digging. Where's Sheree? Where is Nene? I will take Kim's.
Find that out. So I
Okay.
just feel like it was all for a moment. I did own and apologize. I don't own that horse. I don't want that horse. Let's not talk about the horse no more.
Do y'all think y'all can move forward, you and Shamea?
Honestly, I'm ready to move forward.
Okay.
I am so ready
Yeah.
to move forward. I am such in a different space in my life. I just feel like,
Are
what's the
you?
issue? If there's no real issue, then what are we doing? Like, are we just going back and forth for the sake of going back and forth because you want to keep your peach? Like,
Are we going back and forth because you want to keep your peach? Let's move on. I can't.
I like the fact that you and K.Michelle were able to show up for each other at the reunion. I think a lot of fans got excited to see that there may be a turn of leaf there.
is there?
Well, is there?
I mean, I showed up.
Did K.Michelle apologize? Or did she smooth it out?
Up to support her.
It felt like
I did.
y'all hashed things out. Am I wrong?
Well, I didn't get an apology. I absolutely was looking for an apology. I feel like your entire existence on the show was me and you coming for me and you stating things that I was coming and planning and plotting and scheming, and we found out that wasn't true. So I feel like if you're going to drag for me, keep that same energy when you own it, because you were wrong and there was no plot, there was no plan. She admitted that, as we saw. If you
Here's the thing. I don't know that Kay admitted there was no plot, per se, as much as I don't think that K.Michelle could prove that there was a plot. Okay, I think those are two different things. Not to say that Drew was plotting, but I think that K.Michelle probably still believes there was a plot, but she knew she couldn't prove it. And she knew she was going to look a little a little interesting without being able to prove this, because none of what she says came to fruition. Now, if I'm Drew and I did not have a plot, I'm definitely expecting an apology, because I do think that K.Michelle went kind of ham on Drew about a lot. And it just always seemed like it was coming out of left field. So for that, I do think that K.Michelle does owe Drew an apology. I do.
didn't see it, catch it on Peacock. But yeah, no, it was no plot and scheme. I never did anything to Kay. I feel like she definitely owes me an apology.
That's all we know. Okay, that's all we know. So I can see Drew's side on this one. I definitely can. Ooh,
You want to
but
come from
Kelli,
my career, my singing. I have done nothing to Kelly. I've been supportive of Kelly, and she's just like this little screaming Humpty Dumpty.
not Humpty Dumpty, girl.
That sat on the wall. You know what I mean? And now I was like, let me just let you be,
Yeah.
who you want to be, but I'm going to, point out the facts that they are. I'm not shading you. It's just the fact that your restaurant closed. And so you want to come from me in my career instead of supporting me and uplifting me. So how does that feel?
When she brought that up, she
See, This is what I feel like she should have said at the reunion versus being like, huh? I was just recording and my phone came out and I saw your restaurant. Like, I didn't know. Like, no, say that. That's how you do it, Drew. That's how the old girls used to do it. All right. And by old girls, I don't mean old as in aged. I mean the old guard, the OGs of the bunch. I feel like they said what they said. I said what I said, Nene Leaks. All right. I need y'all to do that. Y'all be acting like y'all are like, for instance, Angela and the semantics. This, I think, what is a good example. Yeah, I asked Ashley about if she knew Shamea, but I mean, I just asked if she knew her. No. Okay. An OG would be like, yeah, I went and asked. That's what I did because you was getting on my mother effing nerves. You call me messy and I don't like that. I don't like being called messy. That's my soft spot. Say that. Say that. But because otherwise it's gaslighting. And I know that's a frequently used word and I actually hate even using it. But it's just like, no, just say what you got to say and if you did it, you did it. So I appreciate Drew in this moment for just being like, yo, I own that. That's way more powerful than what I feel like happens in the season when it's just dilly dally. I didn't, I don't know. I mean, was that hurtful to you? Like, come on, girl. Like, nah. If I'm gonna go I'm gonna go for a blow for you. I'm gonna go for a blow for you because I don't like what you said. Just say that, and I guarantee y'all, if people did that, 9 times out of 10, I don't even think the stuff would go that low.
She also brought up your kids, and she said, well, you never have your kids, and that upset you. I saw your reaction. Yeah. What's your situation like, and how did that make you feel?
Now, that for me, that was below the belt. That was, kids are off limits in this group. Like, we have discussed that many, many, many times. And so I felt like, for us to not really have any real issue, if somebody can tell me the issue, please do, let me.
Well, here's the thing. I definitely agree about the kid thing. I used to agree about the mom thing too, but y'all don't care about that. Well, that's not true. I guess some of y'all do care about it because some of you guys were uncomfortable. So I think that's fair. Here's the thing. Drew and Kelli are both two women who are facing some very tough times personally. As a result, when the ladies go after Kelli about one thing, and then they don't recognize that someone sitting on their own couch is going through a not similar situation, but a situation indeed with regards to, Ralph or whatever he's trying to do to perhaps get Drew out of the home. It's two unfortunate situations with two women who have kids in this situation. So if I know that my girlfriend is going through a situation where somebody's trying to put her out of her house, I'm not really going to come at this other lady about what's going on with her house. Because I think that's crazy to me. That sounds crazy because I feel like, in my opinion, I would be being insensitive to my girl too, because I know my girl is going through something where somebody's trying to put her out her house, right? So I'm just about treating everybody equitably. I know that I feel like Kelli has definitely said things about Drew's career, which I don't like. I didn't like the kid comment. Unless Kelli meant it in the way where she was saying your kids were not with you that day. But I just feel like I just don't. I really want these ladies to kind of bring back a little bit more fun to the show. Versus a lot of like the low blows. I feel like if I wanted to watch low blows, then I could watch, some of these other shows where they're pounding each other in the face. If I wanted to keep going down into the gutter, no shade to those other shows, but I do feel like there's an audience for that, and I don't feel like that's the Housewives audience. Some of y'all love it and some of y'all like it, and that's cool, but it just ain't for me. Okay. So I guess I just feel like reserve those hard punches for the most, you got to be in that person has to have done something completely diabolical to you, right? Um, that's the moment where you release something so big that it just goes to the depths of hell. But I feel like y'all will take it to the depths of hell over the smallest little things. And I think that's when it becomes unenjoyable for me. But anyway, just letting y'all know what's going on today in the world of Real Housewives of Hip Hop. Um, um, I could probably say the same thing about, I don't watch Rhode Island, so y'all seem to love that show. I feel like they be going down into the gutters too, and there's only one place to go from there, okay, and that's even lower. But anyway, again, if y'all like it, maybe I'm aging out of this, and I might be. I might be. In the meantime, y'all, we have about 5 more days until we start our 21-day challenge. This is for anybody who is, if you are somebody that you know that you can't be consistent for 21 days, this ain't for you. But if you are trying to get into this content space, make YouTube content, okay, or otherwise, because I'll be doing some other things in there. I'm going to walk you through the process for 21 days where you can actually have that motivation and you can see somebody else is going through the process and actually doing the work, okay? Because it takes 21 days to build a habit. And you also get access to all of my other courses. And it's just like a little small community where you can just get what you need every day. And every day you come out of this with 21 videos or 21 pieces of content so that you now have a good catalog for which to build your channel and to build your infrastructure on, okay? So if that's you, if you know you've been slacking, hop on in. I am super excited to see what you guys do. So the link will be in the description or pinned in the first comments. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.